Yo, what is up guys? It's your boy Badge Plug, and today, before this video begins, we are doing the PC giveaway. I've been talking about this in my last few videos, so if you guys want to enter in this giveaway, all you have to do is drop a like on this video and comment down below Plug Nation. Now, like I said, I was going to be rewarding my Noti gang, so for the people that comment within the first 20 minutes of this video being uploaded, you'll have 2 entries. For the people commenting after that, you'll have an entry also. To get the final entry into the giveaway, all you have to do is click the link in the description and go retweet and follow the dude who's giving away the PC. All right, that's it. Just wanted to update you guys. Now let's get into this top 10 rarest builds video. All right, our number 10 rarest build in NBA 2K20 is the two-way 3-point shot creator. Now this build is not as rare as it used to be because people are finding out that it's actually a pretty good build. So you start off with a point guard build, and then you're gonna go down on the pie chart and you're gonna want to pick this one right here, which is, you know, half defense, half shooting. So once you get that right there, the physical profile, obviously it doesn't matter, that's up to your opinion. And once you get the badges filled out, check it out: 6 finishing badges, 16 shooting badges, 7 playmaking, and 19 defensive badges. Now this build right here, depending on how you make it, can get, at 99 can get an 84 3, and if you go down on the wingspan can get an even higher 3. Then it's got, it's got good defense. It's a really nice build. Now you can get the driving dunk up, it just depends on how you make this build, but check it out right there, 83, and that's without the +1 from 95 to 96, the +1 from 96 to 97. This can be a really good build, and a lot of people don't even know about this build right here, but it's definitely a very slept on build. So I do have it at number 10 because it's definitely a rare build, one that you probably have not even seen out there in the park. So for our number 9 rarest build in NBA 2K20, now once we get lower on the list, these builds are basically a tie, but for number 9, it's the two-way pass first point. We're going to talk about that in just a second, but the two-way pass first point, my friend actually has this build and it's godly. Like, you can make it a bunch of different ways, but he can dunk the ball, he can shoot, he can obviously play great defense. Check it out: 15 shooting badges, 10 playmaking, and 23 defensive and rebounding badges. This build is absolutely nasty. Now the way that you create it, you can do it a bunch of different ways, but to make it a pass first point, the two-way pass first point, you're going to have it at 6'5" or 6'6", I believe. Now if you go any lower, this build is really weird because if you change the wingspan on this build, now you're going to see how I put the wingspan, and I put it all the way up. If you go down on the wingspan, you're going to make like a 3-and-D wing. There's also another build that you can make out of this. So it's a weird build, but basically the two-way pass first point and the 3-and-D wing are the same exact thing. It just depends on the wingspan that you make. So for number 8, we have the floor spacing slasher. Now you guys might have just recently seen this build because Chalk just made it once he hit legend, but before that no one even knew about this build. I never seen this build in the park. So you're gonna go with the one that's the most shooting and the most finishing. Now the reason why this build is not higher up is because Chalk recently made this build, or it would have been close to number 1. But check it out: 17 finishing, 15 shooting, 14 playmaking, 4 defensive, and rebounding. So Chalk, now that he's legend, gets 10 extra badge points in each category. So just imagine 27 finishing, 15 shooting, 24 playmaking. That build is going to be absolutely disgusting. I mean, check out the stats that we got right here already. This is without moving the wingspan or anything. Got an 83 pointer, then it has an 83 driving dunk, and you look at that. You move the wingspan down, that's without the 95 +1, the 96 +1. This build can get contact dunks and have an extremely high 3-pointer, but the only thing I don't like about it is the ball handling, because once you get to like 98, 99, you will be able to speed boost if you make the wingspan correctly. But I'm a person who likes my speed. That's why I have the playmaking slasher build, because I have a 99 speed, I have a 99 ball handling. So it just depends on what you want. But check it out: you get 4 different takeovers to choose from, and then once you pick it, you get the floor spacing slasher. So for number 7, the number 7 rarest build in NBA 2K20 is the small ball 4. Now this one I never see in the park. I mean, I've never seen this in the park. So what I was telling you guys is, once we get lower on this list, these builds are basically the same amount of rarity, because a lot of these builds you've never seen in the park. So I want you guys to comment down below after you watch this video, what builds did I not put on here that are super rare? But look, 4 finishing badges, 22 shooting, 6 playmaking, and 4 defensive badges. This build is not that bad. I mean, it's okay, but you'll see in a second, like, unless you're post fading and stuff, it's really not that good of a build. And the reason why it's rare, I believe, is because it's just not that good of a build. So unless you want to, you know, be a post fade specialist, because hey, post fades are pretty broken in 2K20. They're pretty broken. A lot of people don't know how to guard them. A lot of people don't have defensive badges. They don't have the attributes high enough to guard it. You know, go ahead, make the build because it's rare and it looks cool. But other than that, I probably wouldn't want to make this build, y'all. But listen, I do want you all to comment down below and tell me what are some other rare builds. And if you know how to make them, that would be even better to tell me. But so for number 6, we have the interior big, because the reason why I'm asking you guys to do that is because I might make a part 2 on the rarest builds in the game. Because like I told you guys, a lot of these are pretty much ties. Like, once you get to the end of this list, these are builds that you're not seeing at all. Like, you're never seeing these builds in the park. So for this pie chart, you're gonna want to pick this one right here, which is finishing the most. So it's like a pure athletic, I guess you could say. And this build is gonna be okay, but it's not really gonna be a build that, you know, you're gonna want. So once you create it, you've got 14 finishing, 9 shooting, 1 playmaking, and then you get up to 10 defensive badges. So this build is okay. It's not that good. And by the way, when you guys comment down below the rare builds that you see, don't comment preset builds. I know some preset builds are rare because people don't use them because they're trash, but preset builds don't count, because, you know, you can just make that. You can just hit Y or triangle if you're on PS4 when you're in the creation screen, and you can pick that. You can get like a pass first, 3-point. Like, it's just some weird builds that you can make, but they're not, you know, they're not rare because you can see them right there. You can make them automatically. So right here, this build, if you make the wingspan incorrectly, is actually going to change its build. So right here, you see it makes the interior big. And for number 5, the rarest build in 2K20, we have the mid interior facilitator. Now this build looks lit. Like, it looks pretty cool. So you want to make a small forward, and make sure that when you make this build, a lot of these builds is really weird, guys. Like I was, you know, saying with the two-way pass first point, once you make it, if you change certain things, it's not going to be the same name. So you get 1 finishing, 9 shooting, 17 playmaking, and 10 defensive badges. This build is actually it's okay. You know, it's not gonna be a build that you're really gonna want to make that badly, because you don't have any shooting, your driving is not that good, you don't really have a lot of things that you can do with this build. I mean, unless you want to play defense or you just want to have a rare build name, the mid interior facilitator is your go-to build, because it is extremely rare. You're not gonna see anyone in the park with that. But our number 4 rarest build in NBA 2K20 is the offense initiator. Now this build right here is actually not bad. You know, a lot of these rare builds are trash. The reason why they are rare builds is because no one makes them, because they're not that good. But in this list, you've seen 2, 3, even 4 builds that you could honestly make and run in the park and be really good, because a lot of people that play this game don't really play this game to have the best build in the game. Now, a lot of people do, but check it out right here. 8 finishing, 13 shooting, 19 playmaking, and 9 defensive and rebounding. But like I was saying, a lot of people play this game, you know, to have the best build, but a lot of people play this game to just play it, or to have, you know, a cool build, to have a build they can have fun with. So this is also what that video is for you guys to go out there and make these rare builds, maybe because you want a rare build, or you want a build that you just want to have fun with. You know, it doesn't have to be the best build in the game, or you just want to see the rarest builds, because these builds you will almost never see in the park. Now, the reason why I'm gonna have to remake this, why I want to remake this video, is because once I make this video, you know, there's gonna be rare builds out there, and they're not gonna be as rare anymore. So make sure you do comment down below and let me know what you find. So for the 3rd rarest build in NBA 2K20, we have the two-way scoring machine. This build right here, y'all, this build is really good. If you make it correctly, there's a few different ways you can make it. You don't have to make it exactly like this, but 6 finishing, 18 shooting, 1 playmaking, 21 defensive rebounding. And you see that we have like a 78 ball handling. So if you do make it correctly, I believe, because you know when you change the wingspan it can change the build, but if you do make it correctly, you can make this build to where it can speed boost if you lower the wingspan and you hit like 99 or 99.9. So check out the stats that you get on this build right here. We got an 84 close shot, 79 driving layup, 75 driving dunk, and the defense is nice, the shooting is nice. We got a 83 three-pointer. If you go all the way down on the wingspan, you got an 86 mid-range. You're able to speed boost. You have 80 in every category that you need for defense. You got perimeter 84, lateral 88. This build is pretty nasty, 89 stealing, and on top of that you get a 70 defensive rebound, so you can even get rebounds if you play like threes and stuff. But check this out right here. You make the build and you get the two-way scoring machine. Definitely a pretty nice build. Like, I would honestly be close to making that build. Like, it's pretty nice. So for number 2, we have the shot blocking wing. Now this build I've never ever seen in the park. Not one time have I've not even heard of this build. This is the shot blocking wing right here. So I just want you guys to know, for the builds that I didn't show the position, it was the same position as the last one, just so you guys know. So you see you get 6 finishing, 4 shooting, 5 playmaking, and 16 defensive badges. So this build really, I guess, isn't that bad. I mean, it has no offense, but it does have a pretty good amount of defense. It's a bad build. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not the worst build that we've seen so far today, but it's not a build that you would probably want to make in the park. So I went with a higher weight on this build because, you know, you're going to be a defensive build. There's no reason to go down. But I mean, that doesn't really matter. It doesn't, like, you know, your weight isn't going to change what the build looks like, but the wingspan definitely will change what your build's name is, by the way. So make sure when you do make these builds, if you do, that you're careful with the wingspan. You can mess around with it. You know, we do have the My Player Builder to mess around with, but you know, you're not going to make the right build if you don't make it correctly. So shot blocking wing, number 2. The number 1 rarest build in NBA 2K20 is the ball hawk build. I have not seen this one time. It looks like a really cool name. So you're going to want to make a point guard. And the reason why I have this at number 1 is because ball hawk, like, that's a football term, right? No, I'm just kidding. It's in basketball too, but it's a pretty cool build name. It's one that's definitely rare, one that I've never ever seen or even heard of. But check it out: 12 finishing, 1 shooting, 11 playmaking, and 26 defensive rebounding. Now you can make this a little bit different. This build is not going to be exactly like the other builds where you change one thing and it changes, you know, the name. But it's not. It's going to be a Cash Nasty build. You know, a build that, you know, if you guys know what Cash Nasty does, he likes to be a lockdown every year. So if you want to be a lockdown player, this is your build right here. But hey, comment down below other rare builds so I can make a part 2. It's your boy Badge Plug. You've been plugged in. If you enjoyed this video and seen some rare names that you've never seen before, make sure to drop a like if you haven't. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, and I'm out. Peace.